Hey, what up, though?
Oh, what up, though? I gotta go. Bye.
Okay.
We was caught off guard right there. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, he was opening, but hey y'all, today is a day. The silver moon must be out. It's only because G-Raw airplane just landed and they was trying to pick him up and he told him he had to go ahead. So G-Raw, if you can give us the honors, dear brother.
Yo, I want to welcome everybody to the Truth Podcast.
Yeah.
With my favorite hip hop female, Big Cat.
Woo!
What up, though?
And my partner in crime and the mad, how would I say this? The ultimate personality of Detroit hip hop, Mr. Miles Dixon, a.k.a. Doc Chill.
The ultimate personality?
Yes, yes.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate that.
And today we have two of my radio brethren, so to speak.
Brethren!
And
I can't spell that. I can't spell that.
Brethren.
Yes.
Brethren star.
Mr. Billy T.
Yeah!
And Detroit Streets, a.k.a. the Troublesome Juvenile.
Yeah, give it up, Detroit.
I'm with
for
that.
Billy T and TJ.
Yeah. Billy T and TJ. So,
that's us.
Hey, look, it was hard as hell getting them here, G-Raw. Billy T go to bed when he at 8 o'clock.
He like DJ Fingers. He goes to sleep like 6 o'clock.
It's past my bedtime right now.
He get his milk and cookies and
and I'm missing my milk and cookies.
Don't feel bad. It's past mine, too.
Hey,
Right.
y'all got me out late at night. The street lights is on. Come on, man. What's
It'd
going
be
on
funny
here?
as hell. Billy T be here and be like, Billy.
Oh, shit. You would turn on when I got my finger up. Crying out loud. Jesus.
Billy, the street lights about to come. He's like, oh, shit, gotta go.
Gotta go.
I'm like, God damn. So anyway, hey man, it was rough to get them here, man, because I told them the time, and it was just
And you knew it was late.
I knew it was late, but Billy,
I'm missing my program.
Well, we can get one half of the clip. If you tell TJ you got some weed here, TJ's coming.
Out
there. He's there.
Yes.
yeah, we got weed. We got weed.
I like
we had what you call them little pills. The little poppers, with the pills.
I don't take no pills.
No,
I don't do no pills.
No, Billy do. What you call Billy? Viagra's.
We don't need that.
What kind of podcast is this?
We telling the truth.
Right.
We tell the truth.
Oh, the Truth Podcast.
Okay,
Truth.
shit.
The Truth Podcast. Okay.
So G-Raw, what questions would you want to start off to ask Billy and TJ first? Because I know we had TJ on before. So
The most important thing I would like to ask is, with Billy T, how were you able to get around all of the corporate nonsense that was in radio?
Ooh.
Because when you came to radio, you were like the ambassador for Detroit hip hop, and there wasn't anybody. Because even to this day, you have about maybe 5 or 6 names, but you and TJ, I always tell people, are at the top in terms of people who supported Detroit music and didn't have corporate support. So how were you able to get around that? And then you had TJ and his antics. How were you able to keep all of that out of the mix and still pull off all the things that you pulled off?
Well, when I first started, of course, I was not on a corporate station. Radio changed so much from the 80s to the 90s even. Mm-hmm. When I started, I was on WGPR, and I was doing overnights. And we didn't have a strict format.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't a playlist of you play this, this, and this. It was you come in, you actually had to work. You actually had to know how to put music together.
Show prep.
How to play music, what to play, how to play it, and you had to have a little personality. Okay?
Just a little bit.
You came in with your stack of records. Foodie had his stack of records. Marvelous Marv had his, and I had my stack of records.
Shouts out to Foodie and Marvelous Marv.
Those are the godfathers over there. So I started off, I was doing like Saturday nights. And I was doing the same thing. I was playing a little bit of everything. I had mixers on and stuff. DJ Zap was one of my mixers. Mo Master the boards. So I had these guys, Mr. Terrence Parker. Some of those guys were my mixers on Saturday night, and we started.
Mo Master go back that way.
Mo Master,
Yeah.
that was my guy. Mo
Wow.
Master, me and Mo Master used to do parties. Like people started asking me to do parties. I didn't have none of that equipment. And Mo had home turntables, home cassette players, and
Yeah.
he had everything imaginable.
Yeah.
And we'd go
And he
out-
was cold with it.
He
That
was
was
cold
that
with
was the
it.
killing part of the party.
Didn't miss a beat.
Yeah, Mo Master
And,
was cold.
He knew where everything was on the cassettes. He'd cue it up, and I said, "Mo, they want to hear this. They want to hear that." We just rocked the party. That was my guy. So they would do mixes for me on Saturday night, and when the overnight shift opened up, I was like, I already knew what I wanted to do, and I wanted to do. Hip hop and house music were hot. We're talking late '80s. Hip hop and house music was hot in Detroit. They didn't restrict me. They didn't say you have to do this or you have to do that. And I just said, well, I want to play the music that nobody else is playing. How can I stand out? And as I rode around and I'm listening to people's, I'm at the light, I hear people's car radios playing, and I'm trying to see what they listening to. What they were listening to in the cars was not on the radio.
Yeah.
And it was hip hop, it was house, it was street music,
Yeah.
club music. And I'm like, well, where you getting it from? The gas stations. They were selling CDs and cassettes. And I just said, well, this is the music people want to hear. And if I want to be on their radio when they at the stoplight. I want them to hear me. So I
Right.
said, if I play that music, then they'll be listening to me, right? And I'll never forget, I was on for about maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And Eddie Flash and folks, I'd never met him. He came up there and he said, "Man, you got the city on lock, dog." I'm like, "What?" He said, "Man, everybody." I said, "Really?" Because I didn't have books and Arbitron and all that stuff. I was just listening to the streets. And Eddie Flash and folks was the first person that told me, "Dude, you making some noise out here, bruh." And I was like, "Oh, wow, really?"
It sounded like you knew the first superheroes, Eddie Flashy Folks.
Eddie Folks. Eddie Folks. Well, then also though, Juan Atkins used to do a mix on my show.
Yeah.
Wow.
He'd come on at about this Billy T and the DMZ on WGPR back in the day, and
11 o'clock, right?
I came on at midnight.
Midnight, yeah.
Came on at midnight, and I mean I played everything. You know what came on the radio the other day, and I said, "Damn, I used to play that on the radio." Was Guns N' Roses, "Welcome to the Jungle." We got what you need. And the only reason I played it because
That's why I know that song.
it was
Right.
it was the opening song in the movie Stand By Me. Was it Stand By Me? What's the one with Morgan Freeman played the
Lean on Me.
Lean on Me. Thank you. And if you remember the opening scene in that, they go into the lunchroom, the doors open, and that music starts playing. And the kids are like going crazy. If you go back and watch the beginning of that movie, and it, "Welcome to the Jungle," and it was a jungle. It was wild. I said, I love that song. And so I played it on the radio. So
Okay.
I played a little bit of everything, but my main thing was hip hop and house music. Juan Atkins would come in at about 3 in the morning with a mix, and he'd be on the small reel, the 7-inch reel, and it was about 30 minutes long. And it gave us just enough time to run to the Coney Island and come back and get a couple of dogs.
That's
and come
classic
back.
radio right
Because
there.
Coney Island was right down the
That's
street.
classic
Well,
radio.
it was American Coney Island. We had to go downtown.
Oh, so it wasn't
from
next,
Jefferson,
it wasn't
yeah.
next door.
It wasn't right next door.
Well, back then you didn't have a bunch of Coney Islands like it was now.
And at 3 in the morning, that was the only thing open.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's how it started. So there was no corporate interference. There was no really programming interference. I could do what I wanted to do, and that was the most fun that I had on radio. Was during those.
So what was your worst time on radio?
Clear Channel.
When the programming came.
Because Clear Channel, I think I had left before Clear Channel bought
I was
Channel.
getting to say because
I think I had just left before they bought it.
I'm gonna tell you the most gangster shit I've seen in radio, right? So they had a music conference in Flint. This is the notorious one when I called Gary Chandler an egotistical DJ. You was there. You was there.
I was?
Yeah, because you like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah. So what happened was Dr. Elliott and was there. Everybody was there, but nobody knew that WJZZ was turning into 105.9 Jams.
Yeah.
Nobody knew. I mean, the next goddamn day, it was like that conference was on like on Saturday. that following Monday, it turned into 105. And Doc Elliott was playing that shit so smooth. He was just feeding it. He wasn't even saying, nobody said shit. He didn't say shit. Nobody said nothing, right? And so Doc Elliott was like, don't worry about it, Miles. Just give me the record, and if you're serious, I'll play it. Just make sure when I play it, you give me props. I said, give you props. I wasn't thinking. Man, he said, I'm gonna give it to a DJ named Wax Tax and Trey. Me and Wax never met. Man, Wax played that record. That was one of the first independent records he played that day. That Monday was the Ghetto Funk. I don't remember Ghetto Funk. That Ghetto Funk. That's what by Ghetto Misfit. And then when he played it, I was like. And I went up to the station, and Billy and them came out with their black shirts, black, red, and yellow. And I'm like, these motherfuckers, I just seen them. I just seen them a couple days ago. Nobody said shit. That was the best takeover ever in my life I ever seen. I was like some gangster shit.
I remember that Terry was like, don't say nothing to nobody. And I didn't. I ain't saying a word. I was working in Flint at the time.
Right. And that's what you was working at.
Yeah, I was working at DZZ in Flint. And he said, man, you tired of doing two radio stations, doing all that driving? I said, well, why? What you got? Look, you ready to come home? I said, yeah. And he just was like leading up to it. He wouldn't tell me. And he said, well, I'm about to flip this station, man. I want you to be a part of it. Whoop de whoop. But you can't say nothing.
And when I say they flipped the shit out of it, that's what everybody was tripping that whole goddamn 2 weeks. They're like, dog.
Well, of course, radio is very small. And, of course, Vernon Green knew.
Yeah. Because
Mike, I think Mike Saunders was there then, right?
They knew because of me.
They knew.
They knew because of me.
But Steve knew, though.
No, it wasn't Steve.
No.
Mike Saunders was there then, I think.
No.
Steve was gone.
They were in transition. Mike was there, but Steve was still kind of consulting.
But that's what I'm saying, because he opened up the Atlanta one. He opened up Hot 103, I think, and he opened in Atlanta, that station. He opened that up.
But someone had told me that there was a new station coming. Mm-hmm. So I went and told my moms. I was like, hey, the word is it's a new radio station coming.
And then she went to work.
And that's when everything, kind of jumped off. But I think, like, back then, that was, like Billy said, that was the change of radio. That's when it was so research-driven.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And it was a change of program directors because prior to that, the program directors were strictly into the music, and then they spent some of their time seeing what was going on in the nightclubs.
Right.
At that point, everything became, the program director was on conference calls for hours.
Yeah.
It was about research. It was this, it was that.
That was the corporate takeover.
That was a corporate takeover, but what it was that was the beginning of
the end. Of the end.
It was the beginning of the end, but what it was
was
that it was the beginning of people trying to control Black and Latino culture.
There you go.
That's what it was.
The beginning of the end.
Because we started getting people, outside execs coming in, and they were telling us as Blacks,
what we should be playing. And
you don't know Black culture.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And they were doing it at Latino stations too.
Yep.
That's what, because I had a couple
couldn't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Exactly. You don't know your culture.
You don't know your culture. So that...
But it's still like that today.
Yeah, but it was to control it.
It was to control it. And like I said, when I started on GPR, I didn't have any of that.
Right.
It was like, you better get in there and go for what you know.
Yeah.
It was like a learning process, really, for me. And then when Hegwood brought me over to JLB, it was the same thing.
Yeah.
He let me do my thing. He didn't restrict me. He said, look, all I want to do is know what you're going to play this weekend. Every weekend, it was, what are you going to... So I had to give him a list of each hour, what I was doing, and he was cool with it. Mm-hmm. And then he gave me pointers along the way, don't do this, don't do that. But it wasn't, don't play this. It was more like how to do it.
Right.
He just gave me... He helped me a lot. And so then when I went over with Terry over to 105.9, it was saying, I said, what you want me to do? He said, man, do your thing. Well, when I went to Flint, what's his name? Oh, he was the production manager at JLB.
Skip.
Not Skip. Anyway, he was up in Flint. And I said, what you want me to do? He said, do you. So I always had that freedom.
You're not talking about Hollywood. Was it Hollywood?
Holiday? What was his name?
Oh, you're talking about the other gentleman that was production
the heavy
manager.
set guy.
Randall?
Oh, I can't remember. I'll think of it in a minute. But anyway, he was a cool guy.
So,
but every time I went somewhere, they knew that I knew my stuff. you know, and they let me do my thing.
So, Billy-
so the worst you would have to be the last. As things changed, you know, it just radio wasn't the same, and everything was programmed, and I could deal with it. It's no big deal.
So after 7 decades of radio,
some of the fun went away.
So after 7 decades,
But I
of radio,
still love radio. So,
but after 7 decades of radio, how do you feel it changed?
I think it changed, like what G. Raw was saying, when corporate started buying up stations. In 1996,
FCC.
the Bill Clinton signed a bill that you could own as many stations as you can buy.
Right.
See, this is what I got a problem with. It took away, at one time it used to be you could own an AM and an FM in a market, and that was
That's it.
And you could only do that in 7 markets. That way you don't have control.
And it created
of the
good
market.
competition.
And it created
Right.
competition, but also no one company or person has control of the market. Now when one station owns 9 stations, you got a big control of the market. And their argument was, corporate America said, hey, we can come in and make radio better. First of all, there was nothing wrong with radio. It wasn't broke. But they said, we can fix it. Fix what? There's nothing broke. So they just wanted to get in the game because money was being made. Radio was big money back
what it
then.
was that you had minorities making a lot of money.
Right.
And
Almost definitely.
you had people, I can say this about JLB, the original owners of JLB,
John Booth,
the Booth family, they were fair. I will say that.
They were.
And they let
Black people run
they
the
let black
station.
people run the
Why
station.
can I not hear me? Y'all can hear me, right?
Yeah.
I can't hear myself at all.
I mean, sometimes when you get 70 years old, you got to clean your
Shut
ears.
up, Doc.
But I think what was what happened is that when they saw the money, and
absolutely.
I don't know how to really say it in a graceful way.
They got greedy.
Greed
but
is the word.
I don't know a graceful way to say it, but my mother showed them how to create revenue streams.
Yep.
They didn't know how to create revenue streams. So most of the stuff that you've seen in black radio came from her.
Okay.
Family Fun Day was created
Oh man, that was the best.
by her.
That was the best.
That type of stuff is dope.
The Turntable Sisters were her.
Yep.
Right.
You know, when I told her about Billy.
Mason in the morning.
She got Mason
That was
when he was a part-timer. But when I told her about Billy T, I said, let him do what he does. Don't touch him. I said, if you go in there trying to manage him, it will be wrong. I said, just let him. I said, you need Detroit. And then my father, God rest his dead, he worked in the Detroit public schools, and he was like, the kids listen to Billy T. Right. He said, I don't care about anything else. He said, that's what the kids listen to.
Right.
So that was important, you know, and it was things that when they saw that black people could generate money,
They
swooped in.
They wanted to part.
They swooped in.
Real quick, before we go any further, a quick story about your mom. One day we had Uncle Luke on the station, on the radio, and he was always a lot of fun. And so this time he had a drink in his hand, didn't he? Mm-hmm. And he's drinking, and Steve calls up, Hegwood calls up, says, Billy, take that Negro off the air. I'm like, what? He said, he's drunk as hell. He's terrible. Get him off the air. I said, well, wait, man. Well, you set it up, man. What? Look, Verna Green just called me. She said, get that nigga off the air. I said, okay.
That's dope.
So he said, do it. Be subtle. So I had to hey, man, we got to go. But I had to ease out of it. You know, it was
You
funny.
like what? What the
My thing was, Verna's listening?
Yeah, she listened all the time.
She's always listening.
Yeah.
So I got a question most people never know. How did you and TJ meet?
TJ, you want me to tell the story, TJ?
Go ahead. Yes, please.
I already caught you having sex on the King stairways in high school.
There you go.
No?
Stop.
I never went to King.
I bet you
I
did.
went to Osborne.
Osborne.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So TJ was going to school at Osborne, and he was an intern. Would y'all have a radio class or something out there?
No, this is when we used to go to Go Lightly when we had the Votex. Center.
Votex, okay.
So I was going to Go Lightly for radio and TV.
And that's how you ended up there?
Yeah.
Okay.
For practicum intern.
Internship.
So I got a nice grade out of that.
Yeah, so he comes in, and at the time, Marvelous Marv was doing mornings, I was doing overnights. So somewhere along the way, Joe decided that I should be on mornings. I'm like, Why you put me on morning?
That was going to be one of my questions, but go ahead. Okay.
I'm
sorry, we need to start before we get this
loved overnights. I loved it. Like I said again, most fun I had on the radio. I've had a lot of fun on the radio, but that was the most fun I had, and probably because nobody bothered me. So I knew when he put me on mornings, I felt, oh God, I don't want to be here with people, you know. So I said, Joe, why are you putting me on in the morning, man? I'm killing it at night. He said, that's just it. I want my highest rated jock on in the morning. You put your best jock on in the morning. Because I had like an 8 share at night, 8.5. But that's because I had the audience on lock. I mean, I guess it transferred in the morning. I don't know. I didn't care about that stuff. So at the time, Marvelous Marv was doing mornings. And so TJ was in with Marv. And so when he flipped us, TJ was still there.
Oh, okay.
But Marv really, you just kind of sat there with Marv, didn't you?
Yeah,
Marv
just looking at the back of his head.
Yeah, he didn't really let you participate too much, huh?
No, not really.
Marv's good. That's my guy. But, people, get set in their ways.
He had his formula, yeah.
He ain't set in his ways. This kid's, I don't want to. So he had him sitting in the back. So when I got there, I don't know, TJ was like, he was just alive. He just had energy. And I'm going, who's this kid? Who is this kid in here?
Why are you moving around so damn much?
He just was. He was a presence. Okay, he's just a little ball of energy, and so I let him talk a little bit, and he would chime in on things, and I said, "Oh, he's kind of funny."
He was funny.
He's kind of funny.
He was funny.
I like this
He
kid.
was funny.
He was just a cool little kid.
Swift on his feet.
And he was swift on his feet, and I said, I like this kid. Now, one day he says, hey man, my semester's up or my time is up or whatever. He said, but I'm going to see if I can get another semester in. I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm never going to get rid of this kid.
Yeah.
So he comes back. He said, I get to stay. I'm like, oh, goody.
Like, damn.
So then it just kind of grew in the friendship and the camaraderie and the chemistry, and it just worked.
Okay.
And so when I left GPR, I said, TJ, we got to get the records. I said, we got to go get our records. So we went in one Saturday and loaded up my little car with all these records, my little Escort, loaded up with all these. Cause we had a room, we had a little office with all these records on the floor. And, he'd run and get records for me because, it was just so many at one point. And so I said, TJ, we got to get our records. And we got all the records out and on a Saturday. And after that was it.
Mark King for Lance and say, hey, fellas.
Hey, what's happening?
What's up, Mark?
What's up, Mark?
What up?
Mark King said, what up, dog? Go ahead. I know you.
Okay.
And so that's it. We've been together ever since.
Yes.
What I wanted to ask you is that in terms of, I always considered there were certain guys that kind of pushed the envelope in terms of Detroit hip hop. And I always give you and TJ the top credit. And then I always, not to brag, what I would say would be me and Mark the Spark.
Mark the Spark.
And
that's my guy. How you doing? Yeah.
I haven't talked to him in a while.
Anybody know Mark Spark?
Mark the Spark, and I think Reggie Hot Mix Hero was over at.
Yeah.
He
96.
He was at 96, and even though he was a little too deep hip hop, was DDT. When they let DDT on the air, DDT was like,
he got deep with it.
Yeah, he was deep with it. Is it anybody that you thought, aside from those names, and I would include DJ BJ too, but DJ BJ
definitely.
had corporate support because Smiley got behind him. But is there anybody else that you guys think, in terms of going on commercial radio, really supported Detroit hip hop?
Well, TJ, when he did a program there for a while on JLB.
Oh, there was next on the menu.
Yeah.
But
I can't think of anybody else. Like you said, BJ, he did a lot for the current crop of hip hoppers.
Yeah, most definitely.
I really loved him for that. But who would you say, TJ? I was gone for a while, so
Yeah.
really was DDT and, before
Darius.
BJ, even before Darius. It wasn't really nobody.
Right, very true.
it was a while where nothing was happening.
It
was
was a gap for a
Yes.
while. Because, nothing against Bushman, but to me,
Well, he played the format.
Yeah,
He
Bushman
didn't
was
have
in the
freedom
format.
to-
Like,
he didn't have the-
he didn't have the freedom.
Yeah.
He never played the.
I think if you were a
He just
mixer,
moved here. He just got here.
Yeah,
so.
and it would be if it's a mixer, he had more freedom than the regular jocks on the air. By that time, it was corporate
Yeah.
controlled, and
Corporate
they
started
told you what to
controlling
play.
Corporate started
They
controlling
controlled mixers later, but at one time the mixers had the freedom.
We
to
had JLB at that point was the only station in the country that had free reign, and I mean I always tried to push the envelope because I remember there were certain groups that were just really going hard in the streets, and at the time I remember the Street Lords and Rock Bottom were super hot. Then on the backpack scene, R.J. Rice had his whole collective that was going hard.
Yeah.
And there were just different groups. And I would play the records, and a lot of times I would get in trouble for them. And then they would ask about the records later. But it had become so corporate. You know, it was really corporate. And TJ can testify to that because at a certain point, the Rap Blast had became corporate into the point where they had Gary Chandler, but Gary was playing mainly bass music.
Right.
And that was, so it was.
That must have been after I left.
Yeah.
It was after you left.
Yeah. Not shortly.
So they
not
put
shortly after you
mixers
left,
on
though.
there.
Well, it was like they used Gary's name and his popularity to sell the show.
Okay. Was
And-
TJ still hosting?
Yeah, that's when they started doing it live at
Live.
the club.
Oh,
Yeah,
so-
and that's when I was doing
It was
Okay,
me and
okay,
TJ would
okay.
bounce back and forth as hosts.
Okay.
But it was mainly
Gary.
it was mainly bass music.
Okay.
And then when people started complaining, I was like, Gary, we gotta
Change
play
up.
some rap music.
Okay.
And
But at the club, bass music was big.
yeah, bass music was big, but at that time you had the No Limit started coming. It was different things.
all the
And
Puffy stuff.
Yeah, you had Puffy. Because I remember one record I got in trouble for was DMX, but DMX was super on
hot.
fire in the streets.
Yeah.
So it was
You
certain
almost
records that
sounded
would
like
pop
him,
up.
Billy. You almost sounded
But yeah, it
DMX was hot.
became real corporate, and I remember like I always felt like Mark the Spark. He was one of the people that he really pushed everybody.
Yeah, he
and
did.
he never got his props. So like I always think about the DJs that really helped Detroit hip hop and had no corporate support. And I mean, you're the king of it.
Most definitely. Shout out to Billy T.
Yeah.
I like to recognize people who's always listening to us. Shout out to Roscoe Copeland. He said, "Great show, guys." Roscoe is the CEO and the founder of High Life Entertainment.
High Life.
High Life, yeah. Shout out to Dewan Lynn, better AKA Nation. The Forest Dwellers is in the
Forest
building.
Dwellers in the building.
Yep. And Adina Camille is checking us out. So.
Oh, Dina, what's up? What's up? Yeah.
That's the homie.
Yeah.
So I do have a question for you, TJ. When Billy, did you look at Billy as a person who you thought you was going to be around for a while, or did you just look at an opportunity to be on the radio?
Well, when it happened, I didn't know. I didn't know about that because, you know, we was coming back from Kansas City, and I was listening to him on the radio the first time. It was late at night. I was like, oh, okay, now finally some rap shit going on. And we was all listening to it. So once I got on and I was working with him, I was like, okay, this nigga pretty cool. I could deal with that because then when I was working with Marv was cool. But, you know, I was just sitting there and, you know, just.
What year was this, TJ?
This was 90.
90.
Yeah. It was 90.
Wow.
Yep.
And then I had to do the practicum for the for Go Lightly. So when we was together, and then I was like, man, I would come back because he let me get on the air and I was like, okay, now
I'm having fun now.
Now I'm in the radio and shit. So
No diss to Marv is Marv.
no,
not
not
at
at all. Because I see him when I was working at Sam's Club. I used to see him coming in there, and I used to be like, Marv, what's up? And then he used to be like, nigga, I used to work with you, man.
No, ain't funny, Marv.
Right. And then the few times I seen him after that, you know, it's always been love. So, but I didn't think I would be attached to this dude 30 years later. But
Who knew?
Right. This my dude. So, you know.
And when I tell you, TJ, he got so much love and admiration for you. when you first got your first accident, he said, "Man, I'm going to see TJ. I don't know what the fuck y'all gonna do, but I'm going to see my guy."
That's right. That's my guy.
yeah,
I had to go sneak him some chicken wings
Yes.
and some
And I said, "Why you going?"
some good corned beef sandwiches. He said, "Man, I want something." I said, "What you want, man?"
The hospital food is the worst.
Only thing I didn't take him was something to drink. No liquor.
No, I didn't take no liquor. But
No, I didn't do that. But I took him all the bad food that he wanted.
What hospital you in? Because Beaumont got some good goddamn food.
No, he was
Beaumont's
at
I was
food
in
is good.
receiving.
receiving.
You was losing. You was losing.
I was in there for 3 months.
Yeah, you was losing.
Yes.
It was a long time.
Now the killing part is receiving used to have the best food.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
They did.
my mom used to work there, and I used to go there. And
There you go. When she left there.
yeah,
the
when she
food
left, the food.
But I have no problem with receiving. I love receiving.
They
took care of it.
No.
They took good care of
Good,
him.
good shot.
Yes.
for
Yeah,
receiving, y'all.
yeah, they took good
Yeah.
care of him.
Most definitely.
And the rehab and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's just the food that was terrible.
So
than
Billy,
that.
this is a question I want to ask both of you. Would you guys consider coming back to radio if somebody could make it like it was at GPR?
Well,
yeah.
if
I'll
they
be back
could
in
make
a
it
second.
like it was at JLB, I mean, we had a good thing going there. And we've often talked about it and thought about it, you know, the Rap Blast 2.0, you know, it would be a great, I would say an old school show would be, and, you know, maybe incorporate a few new things in there, but I just think it would be great to be back on as that duo, you know,
Okay.
BT and
I
TJ.
just talked to him about
And,
that shit.
Who?
I just talked to him about that shit about 40 minutes ago.
Talk to who?
Talked
Well, you
to him
don't.
about two motherfuckers.
You don't present things in the corporate way, so
You don't like corporate
yeah. But he does like structure, so
I like some structure, but I think that
he grumpy smart.
Well, I mean, personally, I think that corporate America killed black radio.
it did.
I think it really destroyed
It
black
did.
radio
Yeah.
for the same reason what you say. It was greed. They saw that
It was
money
greed.
being made, and they were like, "We want this."
It was great.
And when they come in and tell us how to be black,
Yeah.
and, you know, Radio One had that same situation.
Yeah.
They had a white boy programming their music. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Tamika Law.
You know, I just don't. There's no white boy out there that can out-program me.
I know that's
with
right.
my music.
I know
I
that's
will
right.
not.
And
no,
and the reason big is like I always used to tell people that you live the music
Thank you.
every day.
Thank you. That's
every
what I was
day.
gonna say. We live
so,
it.
Yes.
They research it. We
Yeah,
live
they
it.
really because the
And
people
even those
yeah.
boys who think they listen to it growing up here, no, we lived it every
we
day.
lived it.
Every
Yeah.
day.
You know, and you can't tell me. And that's why when you listen to the radio station and then you hear the same old songs over and over. There were more than top 10 hits
Yeah.
that we knew. But we don't hear those, and I think they're scared to take a chance, scared to get outside that little box, and to me it's just
Well, because I
boring.
think taking a chance with me opening up radio to more progressive Black and Latino radio executives, it eliminates them from the management field. So I think that's one of the major problems. Because I remember we were at JLB, and my mom had retired, and they came in. And Coats for Kids, which was
phenomenal. That
Which
was one
was-
of the best things.
yeah, like-
Vernon came up with
yeah,
that.
it was Coats for Kids was something for the community because what
Right.
what she taught us was, and they'll teach you this in radio class, is radio first and foremost is a public service.
Exactly.
That's what it's always supposed
What
to
it
be
was
first and
supposed to be.
foremost. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the first thing they did with Coats for Kids was they made it a line item. And when somebody says a line item, that means a revenue stream.
Right.
And they were selling. It wasn't about reaching out because I worked in promotions and I would have to reach out to the social workers at the schools. What kids specifically needed coats?
Right.
That no longer existed.
That's crazy.
And-
it don't exist now.
When we would do the telephone, the marathon
The radiothon. Yeah,
radiothon
yeah.
at Northland,
Right there at the-
at Northland.
Yep.
And I know TJ remembers it, but we would have dudes from the hood. They'd come in 10,000, 15,000.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, they didn't feel comfortable dealing with the new corporate structure because it didn't feel genuine, and it wasn't genuine.
They could tell.
Yeah.
So
Now, but real quick though, before you go, I wanted to say when Booth owned JLB, the one thing I'll give them credit for is basically turning it over to Verna.
Yeah.
To say, look, this is your baby, you run it. Because, they put enough faith in her, and it was run. Verna Green is the reason that we actually started getting ratings. She said, she went to Arbitron and said, there's no way that in a city of like Detroit, a black city, that a country station is winning.
Yes.
This is what the diary says. She said, well, where are the diaries?
Right.
That was back when they would send a book out and you'd fill it in.
Yeah.
But she said, I need those books in the city.
And who are you sending them to?
That
was the
and
key.
she made them
Exactly.
send those books to the city and within our boundaries, and boom.
And it made
we were
sense.
number one, and we never went down.
Here's
That
what-
was Verna Green.
I'd say Tamika Long said, her name is Madam Meek, excuse me. She said artists have to get a distribution through a major to get radio play on FM. That's not true.
That's not true.
That was then.
That was then.
That was then. I
Well,
don't think it's the same now.
And then also, Billy Lamont says Billy T is totally correct. Corporate is the killer.
Is that Lamont Hayes?
Yeah, Lamont Hayes.
My brother, what's happening, man?
I'm talking to Lamont today.
Big Willie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, at one point, and even after, because when Hegwood came in, they ran it. Because Hegwood's thing was always, you got to own the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, if you own the streets, then you got them. And
Yeah.
that was our thing. We were always in the streets and the clubs and everything else. And it was just good old-fashioned radio.
Yeah.
You know?
A young lady, Madam Meek, again said corporate doesn't care about us independent artists, so I got me a distribution deal through Capitol just to get radio play finally. Well, Madam Meek, the truth is if you beat the streets and you beat it hard enough, you don't need a major, especially nowadays. And a lot of corporations do care about independent artists because independent artists is the one who's making the music game go further.
They
Well,
put the music.
I think here's what you got to look at. The most successful label right now is Empire. Empire
Yeah.
is they're on fire, and they're giving artists 80% of what they earn.
Right.
So
The
even
artists dying
Really?
too. They
Wow.
yeah, well, I mean,
They died.
80%, that's
they
incredible.
give you 80%, and then if you choose to, they also if you get out here and work the streets and they see that you're generating the numbers,
Most definitely.
they'll give you a small promotional budget.
Most definitely.
All of the artists that are signed by majors, and if it's a artist deal, it's a 360 deal. They're not giving you any other deal.
No.
The joint ventures and all that are over with. That's done.
I can see why.
Because they can't make any money. Again,
Yeah, right.
as Billy said, they don't know the culture.
Right.
So they're hiring the people that are safe.
Right.
So, no, I'm for real. They're hiring people that are safe.
Right.
But if you look at some of the best record labels,
Right.
it was never safe.
Right, they took chances.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What about how much right now at this time does social media come into play? Like if
Big.
shit goes
A
on
lot of
YouTube and gets some
It's
million
big.
followers.
It's big because
Yeah.
social media followers are more loyal than radio listeners.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you know who they are.
And you got direct customer.
You direct line
And
to
I
them.
think radio has fluffed enough numbers to where they should just be a tissue company. Listen, radio, he's like, we got 1 million. Listen, one thing somebody told me, they had over 1 million people listen to their station at one time. I said, get the fuck out of here. You can put 40 people in a room and only 12 people listening to you directly. You know what I mean? Don't tell me you have 1 million motherfuckers listening to one goddamn record at one
it ain't
time.
1 million people in the city of Detroit, so I don't know where they get them numbers
I mean,
from.
I just knew
I
that.
understand the surrounding areas too,
Yeah,
but that's
but
a big
that's bullshit.
That's a big number.
I mean, come on, 1 million people. We got 6 people in this room right now, and only 2 people listening.
Damn.
So I know I'm just giving an example for real.
Right.
People don't understand, like, to have 1 million people listen to one thing at one time. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
In this
No.
day and age.
It is, especially,
It's kinda hard to-
even shit 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 1 million people. Come on, man. Get the fuck
Well,
out of
I
here.
think
Well, when radio was king,
Yeah.
we got too many other choices now.
Yeah.
What I mean, people still listen to radio, but you also have so many different choices.
Yeah.
And people can listen later. So
Yes.
that's the thing. You can listen to it on demand whenever
Yep,
you want
yep,
to. So.
yep.
And then you have to understand, like, certain cities, they, like, if you look at, no disrespect to Highland Park, but they have so many financial issues
Yeah.
that they can't provide the radio service that people want, but sometimes they have excellent programming,
Yeah.
So it's a financial issue. And again, that goes back to where corporate America made it that way.
Right. You mean 88.1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just, you know.
They do have good programming. But and it's also stronger now. You can pick that station up across the city.
So, and that's the key thing. When you're dealing with radio stations, you have to have good engineers. So, and that know the FCC law. How can I get a better signal?
Safe, but keep you strong.
And that's important. Yeah. So, you know, if you're looking at the income in Highland Park, look at what you're dealing with, it makes it more difficult. But they're still giving you quality programming.
No, I totally agree. Another thing people don't look at is, like y'all said, the people that's inside the cities, right? I used to hate people like New York is way better. New York, at that time, New York probably had 11 million motherfuckers sitting on top of each other. That just, you know what I mean? Like
you win by default. Just get big.
But
everywhere. I touch everybody.
When you look at New York, they're just going off of size and to expand on what you said. But if you study radio, you have certain culture cities in each region. So most people would think in the East Coast it would be New York,
right?
But it's not. It's Philadelphia. Philadelphia sets the trends. In terms of culture, they're leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else. In the Midwest, it's Detroit. Right. On the West Coast, it's not L.A. It's the Bay.
Right.
Now the South,
Oakland area.
Yeah. The South is different because they have three. They have New Orleans, Houston, and Miami.
Yeah.
In
Atlanta.
No, not Atlanta.
You don't think Atlanta?
Not Atlanta because nobody is from Atlanta.
Right.
Okay.
Nobody's
from Atlanta.
Right.
And when the trends start, if you look at the trends,
that's where they come.
The most popular record label from the South is Cash Money. You can say whatever you want to say. The numbers prove it. So
numbers. We're back to numbers.
If you look in terms of Houston, the greatest rapper would probably be Scarface, and from that era or from any era,
right?
You know, and then when you look at Miami, is so diverse.
Yeah,
you got blacks, you got Jamaicans, you got
Cubans.
the Latinos, you got Cubans. So it's a different feel. Those are the people that set the tone.
Yeah.
You know, and
I can agree to that.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Right, no, I can definitely I can see that. You know, especially Philly. I definitely understand Philly.
But I think when you know, in terms of radio, Billy, who do you like now that are new artists? Who are the new artists that you like? And TJ, you next.
Believe it or not, I think I like this kid, Little Baby. I think I heard something by him, and I said, "That's it's not bad." But there's another cat I like, and I can't think of his name. He got a little bit of a little Jamaican reggae kind of flow. And I can't think of it. It's one that when I hear it on the radio, I'm like, oh, I like that, and I can't think of who it is. I just don't. know. I don't know the name.
Oh, I think you're talking about Roddy Rich.
No, that's what I was thinking. Roddy Rich.
He got
that's not it. That's not it.
Well, all the motherfuckers sound like it.
They do. Now that's true. A lot of them sound alike, but you know that's just the culture we're in now. Because I started listening to a lot of pop music, and guess what? It all sounds the same too.
But that has always been Pop's. That's been Pop's claim to fame.
But we've gone through eras, and I was thinking about it. And you go back and listen to some of the funk bands of the late '70s, the Gap Band, the Lakeside, and all those big bands. You go back. A lot of them sound a lot alike.
But they always had one thing that made them different.
Right.
Whether it was their clothes.
But they all had a sound that was distinct to a point, but they all had similar sound. Then you get into the disco era, they all use that one sound effect. Everybody had to have that in their record. So we go through, there you go.
But what was disco?
Then let's go into just dance music.
Disco was when corporate really started to
take over,
to get into music and really try to control
about disco. Then you go into New Jack. When you listen to New Jack, all of it has the same little beat. You know, from New Edition on up to Teddy Riley and them, it had that same. It's imitation, and it's also what works. I like that sound. I like that feel, and they know what people like, so they just reproduce it. We've been cookie cutter for a long time.
Okay.
You know. And then you have people that just stand out in those fields.
But Detroit always reigns supreme over all that shit.
Now, TJ, I'm gonna ask you a question. What are your favorite new artists?
I don't have a favorite new artist.
You don't have any favorite new artists?
Just shit I be hearing on the radio, or if I'm with somebody and they turn it on, oh man, this is the shit right here. And I'm like, who is this? it's always some little somebody.
Everybody little. Everybody little.
Everybody
Somebody little.
Oh, I know what it was, TJ.
So I don't have a favorite one at this point.
You know what I was thinking? I said little
I'm out
baby.
of- yeah.
I might have been thinking about those potato chips we had, the little baby potato chips. Those were really good.
How about the baby? I like the baby.
I like some of the baby stuff.
I like the baby.
Right, I like Kendrick Lamar,
Definitely.
I like him.
Kendrick is dope.
definitely.
and but it's like
J. Cole.
I like J. Cole.
Yeah, I like J.
Cole.
Cole, but I want to hear like the rappers that Common. I want to hear his new shit.
Yeah.
I want to hear those people.
But those
new
are
records.
old artists, TJ.
Yeah.
That's we
But I
already
mean-
familiar with him.
But
That's
I'm
our
just
guy.
saying,
I mean,
He's Common.
newer records.
But,
Yeah,
but
new records.
I think you said something too. I'm like that. I'll hear stuff on the radio, and I might not be able to tell you who it is, but every once in a while, something will come on, and I go, "Ooh, I like that." And then right after that, they'll play something I can't listen to, and I go, "Okay, I got to go."
Right.
But
Right.
I will hear some things that I do like. I'm not going to say it's all garbage. I do hear some things I like.
I do hear some things. I'm not gonna lie. What changed my mind about the newer genre of music was Little Baby.
Lil
When he
Baby.
had his song, The Bigger Picture. Man, that I never listened to a record 13, 14 times in a row. I was like, did that Negro just say that? That shit was dope, right?
Okay.
And I just think it's time for people to start having substance in music.
Yeah, and I think that's coming back.
And that's what we name when you name Common, J. Cole. Even when Drake did the record where he was going around rapping, he was handing out money,
Yeah.
surprising people.
Yeah.
I thought that was the dopest
That was
shit
dope.
ever. You know what
He
I mean?
used his own budget and gave it away.
And that made
Yep.
sense for artists like him.
Like him, who don't need no
he
money.
don't need it, right?
Let me get his money away.
Right.
He gave away like $1 million doing that video.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I thought that was dope. And,
That is
And he
dope.
had substance, and he had a reason why he was doing it.
I mean, Drake is like the hottest guy out there still.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been hot for 10 years and killing it, you know.
He always been
Can't take
killing it.
nothing from him.
And what's that dude? This is America. Him.
This is America. Gambino.
Yeah, Childish
Yeah.
Gambino.
Childish Gambino, that's my
Gambino was
man. Atlanta.
Yeah, sometimes
Atlanta.
he gets a little weird.
Yeah,
like,
he's a little weird.
The last season of Atlanta, I'm like, this is too weird for me. But I do like
What
it.
is your take on Atlanta?
I like the first few seasons. You talking about the TV show?
Yeah.
I like the first few seasons. This year, I'll be watching. I'm like, what is this about? It's a
Right,
bunch
that's
of
what I'm-
random stuff, and I think that's becoming a problem in TV because they did it with Snowfall, where it was a whole episode where everybody was high off of acid.
Oh, that was hilarious.
And I'm
I
like,
love that
it
episode.
was cool.
I'm done with
It was
that
cool,
episode.
but for the whole episode, like,
Well, that's
I
because, you know,
want
it takes a long time for acid to wear off.
Yeah,
It's a hell of a drug.
my,
Oh yeah.
From what I hear. From what I hear.
Allegedly.
yeah, I guess my thing is that it just seems to be so much laziness in entertainment. TV,
is.
like with
Yeah,
it
TV,
is.
everything is a remake. There's no original writings. Like they're remaking everything.
Well, I like Kendrick Lamar for that exact same reason. He don't do a lot of remakes, and he always have originality to it. Mark Lamont said you're absolutely right about Philly, G. And what do y'all think about 50 Cent illegitimate son, Pop Smoke? That was his son. I don't care what nobody says.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what I think.
He look just like that nigga. His last name Jackson.
You want me to tell you why I don't think he was 50 Cent's illegitimate son?
Well,
Because that move that he made out there in L.A. was not a 50 Cent move.
well,
that was a
I ain't
terrible.
Say, I ain't say he had a brain.
That
like
was
50.
I'm just saying that was no street smarts. If you know anything about L.A., they steal and they are experts at it. So when you get out there, you get to posting where you at.
They come
The
to see.
Bloods is coming. The Crips
Crips-
is coming.
and they might beat each
the
other.
Asian gangs are coming. The Mexicans is definitely coming. So I whatever he is, that was a terrible move. As much as I like his music, I just thought he made a bad decision.
He
there.
made a bad decision at the wrong time when he was about to be one of the hottest damn artists. Period. Like when 50 said he was sold when he sold out a whole goddamn arena. He's 19 years old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now who is this nigga? 'Cause
Pop Smoke.
am I getting too old for this shit?
Yeah, you heard his name.
It's
though, Pop
overly
Smoke.
saturated.
They really blew him up after he died.
Yeah.
Well,
Really?
no, actually,
Him.
no. He
He was killing
it.
these
He
coats.
was on the
He was,
come up.
He was on the come up. He was killing it.
But I've heard more of his music since he died
Yeah.
than I did
I mean,
before.
because he was doing a whole album, and they had different artists come and be on his album to fulfill it. That's all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He don't have no full song. He don't got that one full
He got
song.
features.
Well, okay.
Nah, but what song was that?
He had the Woo. The Woo record.
I like that record.
We don't
Yeah.
know. We don't know those dudes.
But I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this.
Little Baby and the Baby did the record. He was on. They was on that song.
Oh, were they on there with him?
Yeah, like I showed him
Does
fight.
Little Baby sound a little bit like the Baby? He got his
No,
kind of flow?
no,
Okay,
no.
then.
Because the Baby, I'm gonna tell you
Baby
something.
got his own unique flow.
They have records with the Baby, with J. Cole and other like real lyricists.
Yes.
The Baby is serious.
Yeah.
He can hold his own.
He's
Hold
serious. They have this one record where it's him, J. Cole, and this other guy that looks homeless. And the homeless dude is like he's serious MC.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
but he looks homeless.
Most of them homeless dudes are. They're
But-
homeless because
No, you would think he's homeless, but he's got on designer clothes, but he just looks
the way-
homeless.
Yeah.
But
Here, wear this.
yeah.
He's dope.
Yeah.
though.
Him and J. Cole are going, and then you see the Baby. Like, what is the Baby doing in here? But
He comes
he
in.
goes in there and goes
Okay,
off. Now, I'm gonna
okay.
tell you guys something. I love y'all to death, but I want you guys to really pay attention to the new artists because the movement is with the youth.
Yeah,
It's with the youth.
always
So,
has been.
like right now, I'm a big fan from Detroit. I'm a big fan of Sada Baby. I'm a big fan of 42 Doug.
42 Doug.
42 Doug, like they're doing
Oh, is that how you say
consistent.
it? I thought it was 42 Doug.
No, it's 42.
It's 42
Thank you
Doug.
for-
So
thank you for clearing that up.
They represent 6 Mile. They
I'll
represent
explain
6 Mile.
it. It means six. It means 6
Oh,
Mile
6. Oh,
because
4-2.
the Finkel on the
4-1.
west side was 4-1, and then the east side guys came with 4-2, which is 6 Mile.
Okay.
But I think him and Sada, they're giving us consistent numbers.
Okay.
And then on the independent side, you got PZ, Vezo, and Babyface Ray is a
Babyface
monster.
Ray, yeah.
He's a monster.
And I'm glad they finally giving him his props. He was in like a little
About
group.
time.
He was in a group, and he was one of the best ones anyway in the group. So, but I want to say shout out to Glenn Cannon over at Street Noise. They coming out with a movie
Glenn.
got a movie coming
What
out
up,
called
though?
Beautiful Noise.
The trailer is ridiculous. I'm ready to see it now.
Yeah, the trailer is dope.
It is so
I wish
dope.
I had it in my system over here, but
Why
I don't.
you don't got it?
Well, I have it in my system on the morning show because I play it during the morning show, but I'm gonna bring it over here. But I just did the posters in the background for their movie premiere coming up next month. But they group R2G featuring Little Glenn, Loose Cannon, and R2G group is really dope. So shout out to them. I like them. I like 42 Cheese, and if you know who 42 Cheese is, that's the son of Wipeout.
yeah.
So 42
Okay.
Cheese. Who else I like? It's another young
Another
guy.
4-2, huh?
Yeah, I mean it's a whole
4-2
group of
Cheese
it's
and
like,
4-2 Baby.
It's
What's
like
the other one?
There's a dude off the
4-2
east side named
CZ.
Tone Mitch.
yeah.
Now, if you look up Tone Mitch and look him up on YouTube, Tone Mitch is a monster.
Tone Mitch.
Tone Mitch is a monster. It's a guy named Chise. I think he's from 8 Mile and Gratiot. He's a monster.
Yeah, it's a lot of. He been around for a while.
Yeah, he's been a while for a minute.
and nobody giving him his props. He's that dark skinned dude, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he dope. He dope.
There's numerous females. There's
oh my guys.
well, P Dot. P Dot she's been around for a minute.
but she dope too.
Yeah, she's dope.
Dope.
Your girl.
Floss's girl.
Tone Mitch got a lot of stuff out here.
Floss's girl. Light Barbie.
Oh no.
Light Barbie is cold. She's opening up for is it the baby? Whatever concert is coming, she's opening up
With all
for
the
him.
babies.
Yes, a lot of babies.
You gotta have a baby in there, you know.
I'm trying to think of it. It's Charlamagne the God.
Oh yeah, she dope.
Yeah, she's dope. You got Joey Red.
Charlamagne the guy.
No,
Charlamagne.
It's
No,
a girl.
Charlamagne. It's a
Charlamagne.
girl.
Oh, it's another one.
Yeah,
Is that
Charlamagne
his
the
daughter?
God.
No.
No.
She from here. I seen her at the Lions.
Can we get some
tailgate.
original names for crying out loud?
Who else? You got a girl out of Flint named Tierra Santoya that's dope. You got Majesty
FLINT.
Queenie.
Yeah, it's a lot of them.
Yeah, it's a lot of them. So
It's more females to me that I've seen in the past couple years in guys is dope.
But the thing is the quality level of the females is serious.
Oh, Miss Corona.
Yeah. Miss Corona. Corona sets the bar.
And you know what she getting ready to do? She getting ready to perform at the Detroit Symphony Orchestra.
Yes,
This Saturday, y'all.
Yeah, Saturday.
This Saturday?
This
She
Saturday.
gonna do the damn
Okay.
thing with
She
that.
gonna do the guy. And her promotional. One thing about Miss Corona, I guess she be sitting around like, what can I do that's better than everybody? When she dropped her last LP, the coronavirus,
Effect.
the coronavirus. And then
She's a marketing genius.
and the way she put shit together is fucking phenomenal. I swear to God, I wish she come out with a podcasting. Anyway,
that's the invite right there, Mr. Corona.
Quick plug.
And then she acts like, oh, it's nothing.
Yeah,
Very humble.
yeah, she's very humble, and it's so dope.
Very cool.
So TJ and Billy T, I definitely want to give y'all flowers while y'all here. Y'all have been definitely an enlightenment for Detroit hip hop for all these years. People don't when they speak of hip hop, they don't talk about y'all being the broadcasters and the supporters of Detroit hip hop. I smack them in their fucking face because I'm getting older and I can do it and I can get away with it.
Why you mess it up like that? It was all nice, and then you gonna
Okay, you're right.
make it ghetto.
Let me take it back. I really appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart because y'all helped me and my team out when we was coming out with the Posse, when we was battling. I don't know if y'all remember the MC Connection versus AWOL. Do y'all remember that?
I think I remember something like that.
Yeah, it was.
I remember.
Yeah, and then they put me into it, and I had to diss AWOL, and I did. I mean, they put me because AWOL jumped on Awesome Dre's side because I was dissing Awesome Dre. And then
Why was you just dissing so many people, Doc?
Because they was getting on my fucking nerves.
Damn.
No, but the truth is, when they found out we had Boss on our team and all that shit, and they came, we did a battle at, I don't know if y'all remember the Cotton Club. Y'all remember the Cotton Club?
Yeah. Absolutely.
When they seen all of us when Jewel was, they left, and it was because they were like, there's no way they gonna win the contest. They was like, okay, they got the whole goddamn club. So I remember AWOL, they walked out, but it was all love at the end because they walked out. But shout out to Kevin, man. May rest in peace, man. We lost a couple people in Detroit hip hop, and Kevin from AWOL and Chris, the president. We want to say shout out to much love, rest in peace. Billy T, TJ, y'all are the reason why people still doing music in Detroit. And if anybody's have anything different to say, they can kiss my ass.
Hey, I appreciate that. But
Thank you, brother.
That was always my thing is that if everybody, like in New York, all these people play all these New York artists and shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, we in Detroit. We got Detroit artists. We need to play them. And the radio stations was bullshitting with not playing these Detroit artists, even from back in the day with Smiley, Bombshell, all that, G-Side, Al Nuke, and all that. They just seemed like it was such a hill to climb that they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Well, I think it comes from people not having confidence in your own city, which I thought was crazy. In terms of the records that were being made at that time, I think we were on another page. But I do want to say this about the rap ball. Mm-hmm. Can we do it? Is it, how do you guys feel about it? And also, Billy and TJ, I want to say that you guys really inspired me. Because I almost basically flunked out of college listening to y'all. My mother was heated. She was heated. I was
Turn
like,
that radio off, boy.
I was trying to do my homework. This is when you was on late night. I tried to do my homework to the music. And, y'all guys were a real inspiration. But what I do, man, I really want you guys to, if you can, kind of bring back the history and just basically educate the younger guys. Because the younger guys really don't realize the greatness and the struggle of Detroit hip hop.
That's very true.
And the young black artists do not study hip hop.
No,
like the Caucasians
and it ain't
do.
just the Detroit artists, the young artists. Period.
Yeah.
Don't have a real respect for the elders, I'll say. You know,
Yeah.
they don't really appreciate how they're even here.
Right.
All the artists that paved the way for them. You know, that's why you'll hear somebody like Lil Yachty say, so-and-so is better than Tupac. Well, he wasn't even born when Tupac was doing his thing, so
Right.
I get it. You know, I get where he's coming from because the music of today is different than it was yesterday. Those artists don't mean anything because we don't
Research.
Well,
Right.
we don't.
They don't research
Well,
it.
Tupac and Biggie are kept alive, but there are so many other artists that don't get any kind of love now on the radio, so they don't
whole
even
lot.
know them. So I think that there is a place for that, and we'd be definitely open to the possibility of recreating and keeping those names and artists alive.
Well, let's do that because we got
Absolutely.
something going
yeah.
on. We got something going on
Absolutely.
on the 14th floor, so we'll talk about that later.
All right. Okay.
G-Raw, tell them where they can find you at, brother.
You can find me on Instagram at DJ_G_Raw. You can find me on Facebook at Grant Green NBA MSKT. And you can find me on Twitter at DJ_G_Raw. And same thing
It's a lot of
for
underscores.
yeah. What's the other one? Snapchat. Yeah, I'm on there too.
Snapchat, is that
Yeah.
still a thing?
Yeah, I'm
As long as Facebook here, Snapchat is here.
And what's the other one?
TikTok.
TikTok. I'm on there too. Yep.
If I see you chicken talking, I swear to God.
You're everywhere.
See, I
G-Raw,
don't
you're
see. You gotta
everywhere.
understand.
do something.
I'm not gonna do it, but I got nieces, so I had them. You know. That's
There you
how
go.
I
Put
stay.
them to work.
I stay relevant by dealing
got
with
to.
the kids. You know, I got to deal with the kids, and you can see me. I DJ Friday and Saturday at Views, and I will play any R&B record that you bring me, long as it's mixed and mastered. Any Detroit R&B record, just bring it to me, and I will play it.
All right. There you
All
go.
right. Cap, the
Yes.
silent one of today.
Yeah, I was just
we
sitting
didn't give
back,
her a
just
chance
enjoying.
She got her hair done. She got this all
Got that
fancy
hair
and everything.
did. She got her hair
I just
rolled it up.
did.
Yeah, you know, she got her
Didn't do
curls
nothing
bouncing and
special.
behaving. So
Didn't do nothing special. But yes, right quick, yes, I do want to thank you and Billy T, because I was on the radio at the same time, I do believe around the time you all were on radio. So when I come home, that's all I would listen to was y'all.
We appreciate it.
So that was a special time in my life because of the radio. But real quick, you can find me on IG at Detroit Doll. You can find me at Detroit Doll on Twitter. You can find me, and yes, I'm sorry, I do TikTok. I just did some TikTok.
Nothing wrong with that.
And it was fun, so I'm gonna keep doing them. Bella Doll at TikTok, and what's the other one? Facebook, Snapchat.
Okay.
There you go.
TJ, where can they find you at?
On Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
You on TikTok?
Yeah.
You ain't telling me that, man.
It's all Detroit Streets. You could put in TJ Smith, but Detroit Streets will bring you to everything.
That's what's up. Billy, where can they find you at?
BillyTDetroit.com.
That's what's up.
Billy T. Detroit on all social media.
Okay. You can find
Except TikTok. I gotta
What
get on.
guys-
I'm not on there
Yeah,
yet.
get on TikTok.
I got a
On
TikTok. I
with
gotta
us.
get
I don't
TikTok.
think light skinned people TikTok.
No, they do. They do. They actually do too.
Where you can find me, M.
Oh,
Dixon.
dark skinned Negro.
Oh, slave. Where you can find me. No, you can find me, M. Dixon 313 on Instagram.
Steven.
The Miles Dixon,
Yeah.
the Mediapreneur on Facebook. You catch me on the Rising Ground Morning Show every Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Tuesday nights on Girth at 9:30. Brainstorming with Miles Dixon at 7 p.m. on Thursdays, and at 9 o'clock right here on
Got a
The
lot of
Truth.
stuff going on,
The
man.
Truth on
The
Thursday.
Truth on Thursdays.
What
Every
about
Thursday at
Pornhub?
9.
And Pornhub is Chocolate Thunder _ Gotta get it, lick it low. And we like to give shout outs to our engineer, the one on the 1 2 to bring us to you, none other than
Yes.
Nikki Lip Gloss Gloria.
hey,
All right, till next time, y'all.
my favorite engineer, even though she dissed me. Okay.
Peace.